Hi, and welcome back to the 20th episode of Royals SMP, my story-based Minecraft server that you can join. Royals SMP is about the mystery of the 7 kingdoms where you can join, create a character, join a kingdom, and tell your story live. It's both Java and Bedrock compatible, so come join the community. I've recently released new Royals SMP kingdom hoodies that have all the kingdoms, the pirates, as well as wanderers, and even a Royals SMP holiday poster. You can find both of these on my merch site. Join my Discord to play Royals SMP, as well as come join and watch live on my Twitch. Enjoy the 20th episode. No signs of winter yet. Where could they be? This place almost feels deserted. incredible. The detail, the paint strokes, it's like the paintings are
You're
alive.
not a very good thief, detective.
Winter, you scared me. I'm not. I promise you I was not stealing anything. I was just looking for you, and I was going around the castle. I couldn't find you anywhere.
Calm yourself. It was merely a joke. Unless, of course, you were planning on taking something?
No, that's not why I was here. I would never take anything.
Relax, Emilepsi. I believe you. Now, tell me, what brings you to my archives? It's not exactly a place most people wander into by accident.
I came to talk to you about something serious. There's been an incident in the Desert Kingdom, breaking and entering. I thought you might know something, or, maybe have some insight.
Breaking and entering? That's interesting. And why would you think I'd have anything to do with that?
I'm not saying that you're involved, Winter. It's just you're well connected, and I thought you might, have heard something.
You're quite the inquisitive one, aren't you, Emilepsi? Always asking questions. Like the questions you've been asking about our history, or these archives. What exactly were you looking for here, detective?
Nothing. I wasn't looking for anything specific. I was just curious. You have a fascinating collection here.
A likely story. If I didn't know better, I think you were planning on to walk out with a book or two.
For the last time, I'm not stealing anything.
Alright, I'll stop teasing you. Let's talk about this incident in the Desert Kingdom. Breaking and entering, you were saying? Tell me more. What exactly happened?
Someone broke into the royal vaults. They took extremely important valuables. I've been trying to piece together who could have done it and why. Do you know of anyone who might hold a grudge against the Desert Kingdom?
The Desert Kingdom has its fair share of enemies, but nothing recent comes to mind, and certainly nothing that would warrant breaking into their vaults. Though, if I were to hazard a guess, I'd say it's someone whose curiosity has no limits, much like yourself.
Very funny, but seriously, Winter. Anything you can tell me, anything, it would help.
I'll have to think on it. But while we're here, perhaps I could tell you a little bit about the Snow Kingdom's own history. It might provide some context.
Yeah, I'd like that. Go on.
Well, the Snow Kingdom's history is not a happy one. My mother, Holly, was a kind and gentle woman. She always believed in the good of people, even when it wasn't deserved, but her kindness was her own undoing. My father, Christopher, and my mother's own brother, they betrayed her. She discovered that they were involved, and together they plotted to get rid of her, to poison her so they could be together without consequence.
Winter, that's awful.
It was. I overheard them, I was just a child running back inside because I forgot my gloves. My mother, she did not like that, so she told me to go right back inside to get them. And then I heard them whispering their plans. I didn't understand everything, but I knew it was enough to warn my mother. Together we planned to escape. But I was too late. The night we were supposed to leave, I brought her dinner, not knowing my father had already poisoned it. She died in my arms in epilepsy, and I could do nothing. After that, my father changed. He shut us out, my brother, Max, and I. He buried himself in his duties as king, leaving us to fend for ourselves. 2 years later, Max and I went to the frozen river near the forest. He didn't check the ice before stepping in it. It cracked beneath him. I tried to save him, but he just slipped away.
I'm so sorry, Winter.
It's fine. I wandered the forest for weeks after that, lost in my grief. One day, I found a small fox, a little snow one, injured and shivering. I brought him home and cared for him. He became my only companion for a long time. The kingdom during the war 24 years ago became isolated. My father closed the borders, ended our trade agreements. He said it was to protect us, but I think it was just another way to escape his guilt. Near the end of the war, he was killed, but I never saw who it was. And by the time I took the throne, there was so little left of the family we had once been.
You've endured so much, Winter, and yet you've led your people with strength and grace. They're lucky to have you.
Thank you, Emmy. That means more than you know. With that, I think there's something you should know. Something I've kept from the rulers, from everyone. It's about the Caves Kingdom.
The Caves Kingdom, but there's been no sign of them ever.
That's what I wanted everyone to believe, but it's not true. The Caves Kingdom is still very much alive.
Alive? How? Why would you keep that a secret?
I discovered it myself years ago. It was during a dark time, not too long after I'd lost Max. I was on one of my walks through the forest at the edge of our kingdom. Wandering was my way of coping, of searching for answers to questions I didn't even know how to ask. That day, I'd wandered farther than I ever had, lost in thought. The snow was heavy, the wind biting, but I honestly didn't care. Then I saw it, a hidden passage leading down into the earth. It was subtle, almost entirely concealed by overgrowth and snow, but unmistakably it was handmade.
You went inside.
I couldn't resist. Curiosity, or maybe recklessness, it doesn't matter now. What I found was beyond anything I had imagined. Cave's kingdom wasn't abandoned, it was thriving. People, entire families, living in secrecy. Their society had grown in the shadows, shaped by isolations and their refusal to be found. They didn't want visitors, Emmy. They didn't want anyone to know they existed. And they were prepared to fight to protect their secret.
You saw them? And you didn't tell anyone? Not even the other rulers?
How could I? The other rulers, they're not just allies. I've known them my whole life. They're the closest thing I have left to family. I've already lost so much. My mother, my father, Max. I couldn't bear the thought of losing anyone else. And I knew what would happen if the others found out. Wars don't end with peace treaties, Emmy. They simmer beneath the surface, waiting for the slightest spark. The revelation of the Caves Kingdom would be that spark.
You were protecting them. All of them.
I told myself I was protecting everyone, but maybe I was just protecting myself from more pain. I plan to keep this secret to my grave, preserve what little peace we have, but now, everything resurging, with this hooded figure you keep mentioning, I can't ignore it anymore.
You think the hooded figure is tied to the Caves Kingdom?
It's not just a thought, Emmy. It's a certainty. The Caves Kingdom have always been unruly. Their rulers desperate and divided. Power struggles have defined them for centuries, and they won't stop, not until they reclaim what they believe is rightfully theirs.
It's just like the poster that I saw. Then we need to act. If the Caves Kingdom is stirring, if they're working with the hooded figure, we need to be ready.
I know. And that's why I'm telling you. For the first time, I'm not gonna carry this alone.
But why tell me, Winter? You know many of the rulers already don't trust me. They blame me for everything that's happening. Why risk confiding in someone like me?
Because you're the only one who hasn't let their fear cloud their judgment. You're relentless, Emmy. You see connections that the others refuse to see.
Relentless. They call it reckless. Half of them think I'm chasing ghosts, and the other half think I'm the reason the kingdoms are falling apart.
Let them think what they want. Their distrust doesn't change the truth. And the truth is, you're the only one who can piece this together.
You really believe that?
I do. And whether they trust you or not, I trust you. That has to be enough.
Thank you for your time, Winter, and for the stories. You're an incredible and selfless ruler and person.
You're always welcome here, Detective. Just try not to get lost in the portraits next time.
I'll do my best. Goodbye, Winter.
Farewell, Emmy. Stay safe out there.
Now with that information, everything that Winter told me, I mean, this could change. This could literally change everything. Oh, I'm shaking. I need to grab the books. I need to go and find.
I've called this meeting because concerns have been raised about Detective Emilepsi. Accusations have been whispered, questions about her past are circulating, and tensions are growing. We must address these matters openly and fairly. This kingdom thrives on unity, but right now, I sense division. Vidi, you requested this meeting. Start us off.
Thank you. Let's not dance around the issue. Dancing. My cross legs. Oh, epilepsy is a bit of an issue. She was exiled from the Desert Kingdom for stealing, and now she's here, kind of poking her nose where it doesn't belong. I've had too many people talk to me about these things. All of the trouble we face, the hooded figure, the killings, the looming threat of war. We can't do this again. I don't want to. I don't want to be mean. But everything started when she arrived. And plus, Gub said, Gub's my friend. Gub said it was within the pyramids, so that's like extra bad.
Vidi, with all due respect, we can't blame Emilepsi for every misfortune. Yes, weird things have happened since she's arrived, but correlation is not causation. We should give them the benefit of the doubt.
I know. Just because I'm young doesn't mean I'm dumb. And that doesn't explain her interest in the caves. Those caves are our kingdom's business, not hers. I don't want to think about the idea, but she could be part of them, you know?
I've spoken with Emilepsi many times, and I believe her curiosity about the caves is genuine. She seems to be more focused on solving the mystery than causing any harm.
You can't just believe everything you hear. Solving the mystery? Solving what? She hasn't solved a single thing while being here. She's accused people I care about. I can't have anyone be hurt. Not again.
Now let's take a step back here. While I agree that Emilepsi's past is troubling, she's also shown intelligence and resourcefulness. Those qualities have been useful to us. However, trust is earned. I'm not sure if she's earned mine yet.
Oh, thank you. Vidi says you're being too harsh. If she did steal from the Desert Kingdom, maybe she had a good reason. We don't know the full story. People don't act in a vacuum.
Too harsh? We're right not to trust her. I've said it before and I'll say it again. Emilepsi is trouble. She's not one of us and she never will be.
Liana, that's uncalled for. We can't treat Emilepsi any differently than we treat others. This isn't about where she's from, it's about what she's done.
It's both. She's an outsider meddling in our affairs. Why should we trust her when all she's done is bring us trouble?
And did you forget that I was an outsider once? If we treat her like this, we are setting a precedent to anyone else who thinks to come to the kingdom.
As someone who's worked in the same profession as Emilepsi, I can say she's unorthodox, but I'm not convinced she's malicious. That being said, the timing of her arrival is suspicious. I'm not sure, but I think being cautious is what would be best for the kingdom.
Cal, you've seen her efforts firsthand. Do you really think she's capable of working against us?
I don't know, Grace. I want to believe she has good intentions, but I can't ignore the doubts. What if she does turn out to be malicious?
Listen, I know that I've been gone for a while, but from what I'm hearing, it just sounds like we're all jumping to conclusions. What proof do we even have?
Proof? She's accused my friends. The people are suspicious of her. Everything I do and say is for the kingdom. My whole life is dedicated to the kingdom. You have to listen. It wouldn't be wise to deny such suspicions, especially from a prophet. That's just silly, Flambe.
And what would you have me do? All I have heard is good things about the detective. I can't just make a rash decision about someone I've never met. Justice may be blind, Vidi, but I'm not. Maybe if I met them, I could make a proper choice then.
That's an interesting choice of words.
That's enough, Vidi. You can't condemn someone based on assumptions.
All of you, calm yourselves. Assumptions or not, rather than arguing amongst yourselves, why don't you all offer an actual solutions? For example, may I?
Go on, my Ambassador Cam.
Cal's already investigating her intentions, but while we're at it, we should check her surroundings. Her house, her hut. If she has nothing to hide, it'll clear her name. If she does, we'll know. The safety of this kingdom is our responsibility. Whether or not we think she's up to something does not matter.
Searching her home? That seems highly invasive and very unnecessary.
Is it really that invasive? I prefer the term practical. Ambassador Cam is right. We need to put the safety of our kingdom above all else. I'm in favor of sending a search party to investigate. It's the only way this outsider will have any chance of having her name cleared.
I mean, if she has nothing to hide, then she shouldn't mind us looking around. After all, it's our duty to keep this kingdom safe. We're just doing our jobs.
So, if we go down that path, it'll have to be done delicately. We cannot treat her like a criminal before we have proof. But I don't think we should go to Emilepsi's house.
I don't think we should be that quick to invade someone's home. It is not such a small matter. We need to respect her privacy. We cannot just go off of feelings. We need solid evidence and reason to justify it.
Understood, Your Majesty. Instead of invading her home, I could take a look into her recent activities as well as I could investigate the surrounding area to find anything suspicious.
If we're going this far, we better have a plan to apologize if she's innocent.
I'll write an apology letter to Emilepsi, but I can't promise to keep it polite.
Let's focus on what we know instead of jumping to conclusions. Trust is fragile. If anything concerning is found, we can escalate it from there.
With all due respect, Your Majesty, your hesitance could cost us. We're responsible for maintaining the safety of this kingdom, and oftentimes, that means making difficult decisions.
This is about balance, Ambassador Cam. If we act without evidence, we are no better than the tyrants we've seen before us.
I guess I'm okay with the investigation into Emilepsi, but this whole meeting has sounded very biased. I'm afraid about where our true intentions lie.
This is to keep the Plains Kingdom and all kingdoms safe. This isn't a witch hunt. It's a precaution.
Focus. Now is not the time for distrust in between us. Is everyone in agreement?
I mean, I guess as long as no one gets
The
hurt,
best of the kingdom,
especially
I
my
guess.
friends.
Right?
Sure.
Then it's decided. Detective Cal, you'll handle the search. Nathaniel, Zale, and Cutie. As Commander-in-Chiefs, I task you all with ensuring the process goes smoothly and continued safety of our people. This meeting is adjourned.